I'm here on a random street corner in Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is Passport Papi, posting more on not less on Instagram, actually the same on Instagram, but more on YouTube. This is a YouTube video, straight to it, no edits, no nothing. YouTube videos are too long to edit, so I'm just gonna post them as is, get them out there, get you guys looking at what I look at on a daily basis, and trying to explain a little bit about why I like and dislike certain things that I can't go into depth in my reels on Instagram. If you don't know, my name is passportpapi.usa, and we have about 250,000 followers on Instagram right now, and yeah, it's growing. Major following from first the United States, second Brazil, third Argentina, and the rest is scattered throughout the world. We got a lot of followers from Egypt when I went there. We got a lot of followers from Greece when I went there. Europe, Western Europe, we got a few followers there, mostly travelers. But yeah, I just love sharing the real experiences that I think a lot of other people overlook. Either people are too positive or they're too negative. No one's a little bit of both, and I'm a little bit of both. Create some controversy sometimes. There's been some controversial things that have happened, some friction in the past, but for the most part, we are a very well-liked channel on Instagram. I recently worked with the government of Argentina and also a state government in Brazil, bringing you guys just the world, the truth of these places. The project with Argentina is more about how safe Argentina is relative to other Latin American countries, and the project in Brazil was the same. It was with a state in Brazil called Goiás, which is the safest state, the only state in Brazil that was able to completely eradicate the factions or their cartels. No other state in Brazil has completely done that. So very proud of Ronaldo Caiado over there, and also the leadership here in Argentina. Controversial leadership, you know. Argentina has made a huge swing to liberate the markets and make some, I guess, some alliances abroad that are not well perceived by many Argentines. But besides that, things are going pretty well in Argentina. Things are safe. The currency has stabilized. And I mean, what's constant here in Argentina? This is constant. Look at this neighborhood. The cobblestone streets, beautiful architecture. I mean, come on. Look at this. It does not get much better than this. I just walk. When I'm in Argentina, I just walk. I don't, people are like, oh, what'd you like to do in Argentina? I like to walk. I actually enjoy this a lot. I love walking. I think it's one of the most fun pastimes of all time. Biking as well, depending on how spread out things are. But I think Buenos Aires especially, it's one of these cities that walking, it's so dense with just so many cool little things that walking is good enough. Biking sometimes is better depending on where you are. I'd say maybe Rio de Janeiro is a better biking city because it's less dense with super cool stuff and a little bit more dangerous. So you want to get there quicker. Argentina. Now, okay, here's the thing about Argentina. People are like, oh, you love Argentina, you love Argentina. Yes, I love Argentina. But I mostly love Buenos Aires. Whenever I go to another city, I just miss Buenos Aires. For example, I was just in Mar del Plata. It's a big city along the coast. Used to be one of the most wealthy cities in Latin America, especially in Argentina. And they built it out like this, like it's built out. It's built out well. But they just don't have the conveniences, the infrastructure. Here, let's see if we can get in front of this. Oh, there's a green light. Bad pedestrian. I didn't see that there was a light. Yeah, usually there's no lights on these streets, but I guess this randomly has a light at that intersection. Very patient people here. In any other country, they would have honked at me because, yeah, that's my fault. And look, the next intersection doesn't have a light, so I mean it's logical for me. But yeah, whenever I'm in other cities in Argentina, I just end up missing Buenos Aires. I just miss it. Why? One, it's the most connected. It's the international city of Argentina. The flights that go to places that you want to go, they're only from Buenos Aires if you're in Argentina. Whereas if you're in Brazil, you know, you can get to like international cities if you're in either Rio, if you're in Sao Paulo, especially, even Minas Gerais, in Belo Horizonte. But Argentina is pretty much centralized. Their whole economy, their whole international community essentially is just in Buenos Aires. So, and it's always been like this, where Buenos Aires has a disproportionate advantage and weight in Argentine life, just all encompassing culture, financing, everything comes through Buenos Aires. So that's why I like Buenos Aires, because they're up to speed with all the things that I like. Like if I walk to any corner, I can find a cafe that accepts card. If I am hungry at night, I can order something and it'll come to my door within 20 minutes, even if it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I can meet people from all over the world. There's Argentines from all over Argentina. It's just, and it's built really well. Listen, all cities in Argentina are pretty much built like this. And look, there's no lights at this intersection. So yeah, just proving you that me walking through that intersection, not expecting lights, it's logical. Yeah, so we already like Argentina's already built sort of this, not the same, but they're like all throughout, it's built with a grid system, it's built with similar architecture, and you will see similar just cities throughout Argentina. Now, if you go to Salta, if you go to, you know, Cordoba, there are some more, there's older buildings there, but you won't really recognize them. You won't really recognize that it's different from the Porteño architecture. Now, Buenos Aires is a relatively new city in Latin America. It was originally an outpost. It didn't receive too much attention from the Spanish just because it was so here's how it was set up. We're going back to 1535 when Lima, Peru becomes incorporated and the Incan Empire falls. The Spanish, they take a lot of gold. They find a lot of silver in Potosí, which was then called Upper Peru. Now it's part of Bolivia. Bolivia, Peru, very, you know, they could be one country if they wanted to. All the focus was there because that's where the gold was. That's where the silver was. That's where the empire, the Incan Empire was. So they already had developed civilizations. And once you start getting to Argentina, it was the indigenous people of Argentina, they were not up to speed with what a civilization, what a massive civilization looks like. So it was a little bit more difficult to extract resources from this region. Also, they didn't have as many resources. So that's why Argentina was sort of overlooked, and the ports weren't that good. And when they were taking the silver from Potosí, it would go down to Sucre, and they had two routes to take it. They could have taken it to Lima, and that's where they usually took it, which is on the Pacific side, and they would ship it up to Panama and then cross. Back then there was no Panama Canal, so then they would cross over Panama, which was, you know, this little slit, really easy to not easy, but the easiest way to get it across land. And then they would ship it off to Spain. They would also ship it off to China. China had a huge demand for silver back then. So this was going on for a couple hundred years. And Argentina wasn't even Argentina. It was a viceroyalty, Rio de la Plata, which was kind of clumped together with Uruguay as well. And the problem with Argentina was it was just, it was no man's land. So that's where the gaucho comes in. Gauchos are these cowboys. So gauchos are Argentine cowboys, are cowboys of the Pampas, of the Chacos, there's like regions in South America where gauchos were popular. You can find gauchos in southern Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina, even maybe some in Bolivia. But these flatland dwellers that would run around on their horses, ungovernable people that did not really understand economy in the sense that we do. And Argentina had this huge problem where they just didn't receive any attention. A lot of people didn't understand economy, and their indigenous population, unlike the Incas, had no concept of economy as well. They only know they were hunter-gatherer groups, small settlements. So it was a lot more difficult to settle Argentina back then due to all these factors, as opposed to Peru, as opposed to even Bolivia, which people don't know this, but Sucre, Bolivia was the richest town, was the administrative town of Potosí, which produced all the silver. It was the richest town in Latin America, in the Americas actually, for quite some time, until the decline of silver in that region. So Buenos Aires, it doesn't have all the old stuff that the cities near Sucre, Potosí, these cities that are along the Andes where the Spanish would extract resources from. They didn't have buildings that are that old here. Like if you go to Salta is one of these cities that was actually along a trading route where they would bring silver down from Potosí. They did bring some silver down. They did have some trading routes that brought silver into current day Argentina, but it wasn't nearly as popular, and it just wasn't the focus of the viceroyalties of the Spanish crown. Then you fast forward to the mid 1800s and Argentina explodes. And then the 1890s to the 1920s, this is considered the Argentine golden era. That's when you see most of these neighborhoods that I'm walking through. That's when you see them be built. So a lot of this stuff is about a little over 100 years old. The nice looking stuff in Buenos Aires. Before that, Buenos Aires was just, it was chaos. It was absolute chaos. And few boats would come, actually. There was like once in a while a boat would come in from Europe with some stuff. And they had this huge problem too with exporting their products. So Argentina has always had a lot of beef. And they had a problem exporting it because back then they didn't have ways to cool the beef to send to Europe. Once a pivotal point in Buenos Aires was when they discovered how to transport fresh beef to Europe. That changed Argentina a lot. Of course, the migration from Europe, massive migration in the late 1800s due to famines and political instability and just lack of space in Europe. A lot of people from Spain came, a lot of people from Italy came. So when you compare Buenos Aires to some other cities in Argentina, it's a newer city. But it's not new to us, right? It's been around, like these things have been around for 120 years now. But if you compare it to like Cordoba, if you compare it to Salta, you will see stuff in Salta that is like 500 years old. You will see stuff in Cordoba that's like 400 years old. Whereas here in Buenos Aires, you won't. And we're just walking around. I'm literally just wandering about. Look at this. Now, if you're thinking about getting residency in Argentina, I have a trusted immigration attorney, Martin, with MH Legal Hub. I'm gonna put the WhatsApp link in the bio. Go ahead and click the WhatsApp link so that you can shoot him a message and set up a consultation. As of now, I think the consultations are $80. Martin's very knowledgeable, can also help you in a bunch of other ways. If you're looking for investments, properties, he can go ahead and help you with that as well. If you don't have WhatsApp, and you're probably not even thinking about moving to Argentina because that's how they communicate. Look at this. It's just, I mean, what can I complain about? People complain about Argentina like, oh, yeah, they don't have black people. Well, you know why they don't have black people? Well, they do have some that have been here for a while, and they're usually in the north of Argentina. But do you know why they don't have as many black people relative to Brazil? First of all, Brazil, the South does not have many black people. The South imported a lot of Europeans. So then you're comparing to North Brazil. North Brazil imported 4 to 5 million slaves. Argentina imported what they believe around 200,000. So that's okay. What's how many? So Brazil essentially imported 25 times more. Okay, so you can't really say Argentina's this or that. And also, if you look at Peru, Mexico, they don't have any black people in Mexico or Peru. They have like maybe one region where they have some. So people pick on Argentina all the time, and I'm like, yo, look at the history before you say anything. Look at the countries surrounding them before you say anything. You don't really know what you're talking about. And all these countries imposed what would today be considered racist laws, racist policy. You can't, and it was all pretty much not good in any of these countries. So you can't really blame Argentina for their racial makeup. There's a really good book by Felix Luna, A Short History of Argentina. It's okay. It's actually, I won't say it's a really good book. It gets difficult to follow towards the middle, then it kind of like closes up well at the end. Starts out good, middle is like, for a long time, it's like, what the hell is he talking about? Because you kind of need to have a historian with you when you read this book, because he kind of just names a lot of names without giving a lot of context. But I still do recommend the book. Felix Luna, A Short History of Argentina. Dude, the guy went into depth about just the type of history people don't talk about. Like, people don't talk about why, for example, he was like, yeah, the indigenous people didn't understand economy. That's why it was hard to govern Argentina for the longest time. Like, I haven't heard anyone say that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, they don't understand economy. That's true. And then why Argentina is more related to Europe in many ways is because they didn't really trade with the rest of excuse me, the rest of Latin America for the longest time. They prioritized Europe, and he said, yeah, that made the most sense. What could Latin America offer them with their instability, with their limited technology? It's just stuff that's just like a no-brainer. It's like, why would I trade with Paraguay when I could be trading with France instead? You know? But yeah, walking along. Look at this guy. This is such a beautiful place to be. Yeah, if you like the channel, you like the more in-depth takes of passportpapi.usa. Look at this. Oh man, that's nice rustic vibe. If you like the long form video, see, like, I actually like watching my own videos because I put them on in the back when I'm doing something, or like eating lunch or something. This is perfect. This is the perfect content to put on when you're like eating, because you can learn a few things, you can gain a few perspectives, and I just show what I see. This is a more modern area. I believe we're in Belgrano, a neighborhood in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Go ahead and give me a follow and subscribe. Help me grow my YouTube channel this year, because yeah, we're gonna focus on YouTube a lot this year, posting consistently, at least weekly, here in Buenos Aires, Argentina.